You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. Hello. Welcome back to our discussion on the Song of Songs. I'm Frank Sinatra. Just kidding. I'm still Ryan, but I do have new improved hair from yesterday at least. I've actually done my hair today, so that might be why you're confusing me with Frank Sinatra. Yesterday we talked about how the Song of Songs is the greatest song that there is. It's God's song, and it's also Solomon's song, and how there's all these connections between Solomon and Jesus, and Solomon's life, his name, and things he said and did speak of Jesus. And we are reading this book, the Song of Songs, as a love letter, a love song from God to us, which is a manner that it's been read for ages and ages. So today, we actually get into the story a little bit, but before we do that, I just want to introduce some of the main characters. I won't hit all of the characters of the book, but one of the challenges of this book has always been identifying who is talking. And even today, Bible translators disagree on who is talking throughout this story. It's unclear because the original authors didn't give us a clear definition of who was speaking. They didn't put in bold print, the bride is speaking here, or the beloved is speaking here, or the daughters of Jerusalem are speaking here. They didn't do that, so we're left to try to figure it out on our own. But some of the main characters of this book are Jesus, or we could call him the beloved. And then we have the bride, or you could call her the Shulamite. She'll be referred to as that. And she represents us. She represents you and I in this journey of the heart. See, Jesus relates to his church as a bridegroom relates to his bride. That doesn't mean, men are going to have to wear a wedding dress someday. That's one of those big questions and weird things about, wait, how are we the bride? It's a way that Jesus relates to us. He relates to us as a bridegroom to his bride. But obviously, we are many people who are one. And he is going to marry his church, the bride. So obviously, it's going to look different than human marriage. But the way I think about it is, this was the most effective way that God could communicate to us the kind of relationship he is pursuing with his people. It's like that of a marriage relationship between a man and a woman. So, in this song, we're going to be reading the Shulamite, as the bride, as you and I, and then the beloved as Jesus. And then there's other characters like the daughters of Jerusalem, and we're just going to call those other people in the church, other people in the body. And we'll find other characters in this book like the watchmen, and they could be considered leaders in the church or things like that. But we'll come across other characters and introduce them then. But for today, those are some of the main characters. So let's get into the story a little bit. It starts with this beautiful introduction. One time I was in prayer, and I was reading this, and I just had this picture in my head of this book being a play, being performed on stage. And how would a play director present this book? And what I saw in my mind's eye was the book began with the spotlight coming up on stage, and all you see is this beautiful bride dressed in her wedding gown, and she begins to give this oration by herself, and it's an introduction to the story. You know how, like, in Shakespeare plays, one character would come out and do an introduction, and then suddenly it would go into the play. That kind of thing. So that's just what I pictured in my mind's eye. And the first thing she says, she comes out into the spotlight, as it were, and she says, "May he kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine." Oh, there's so many wonderful things about this statement. First, it begins with may he, or let him. So she's asking. She's asking someone. Who is she asking? Well, she must not be asking Jesus, because she would say then, "May you kiss me." So she's asking someone else other than Jesus, or other than her beloved. So who would she be asking?